when you're feeling the most trapped and down and nothing can't go right, I feel like those are the moments that define you. Those are those character canon moments that are like, what am I gonna do now? You know, how do you respond to that? And thinking your way, feeling your way, working your way through those things on the other side, it's like, you know, I don't know who said the saying, but like usually, you know, you're the closest to getting what you want is always the hardest. It's always the feeling when you're getting ready to, you know, people give up right before they get what they've always wanted to get. People quit and they give up. And I will not be the person who quit before I got what I wanted or what I needed or what I felt I was supposed to have, you know? Like, and if that wasn't for me, it wasn't for me. I'm gonna keep grinding, I'm gonna keep knocking on the door until I get what I feel. That's been something I've always felt.
I have a soft spot for homeless people.
I do.
How come?
Playing against the New York Knicks, have a terrible game. So my father calls, bring your tail home. So I come home, we land late. Be here tomorrow at 0500 a.m. Like, what? You heard what I said? Yes, sir. So I go home, wake up 5 a.m. We get in the car, we're driving. If my father don't speak, you don't speak. You don't speak until you're spoken to. So I said something and he's like, what? So now he's upset. What, you couldn't handle the pressure? I not couldn't handle the pressure. And so now he's very upset. We ride and we under this bridge, it's a homeless family. And he's sitting and he turns the light off. We're sleeping in a little tent and we're just sitting and waiting. 5:30, 6. About 6:30, the guy comes out. And my father said, that's pressure. And then the wife comes out, and then the two babies come out. He said, pressure is when you don't know where your next meal is coming from. Tired of you rich, spoiled athletes not performing to your level and then saying you can't handle the pressure. You don't know what pressure is. You still get paid after a bad game. It's not pressure, this is pressure.
You gotta be aggressive. That's gotta be your default mode, is to take action and make things happen. Because most human instinct is to wait. Most human instinct is to hesitate. Most human instinct is to let things go longer and stick with the status quo. And that seems to be on the front, the lowest risk in the situation is to not do anything. It usually appears to be the lowest risk. It definitely seems lower risk. Oh, well, he wants money, he wants investment, new thing. I don't know. The lowest risk in that situation is to not do anything. And that's what many people do, whether they're in the SEAL teams or whether they're in business. So to train people to, oh, I need to take risk, some level of risk, take action, because in the long run, I say 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 times, action is better than inaction.
Well, I mean, here's why practice was important. Not from just the standpoint that I enjoyed playing. Like, I enjoyed being there. I enjoy getting better. But as a leader of a team, it's also your responsibility to elevate the rest of the guys. And people tend to get stuck on a lot and saying, okay, the way to make players better is to pass them the ball when they're open. It's a very trivial way to look at it. What you have to do is you have to get them emotionally to want to be better. You have to get them to an emotional space where they wake up every morning driven to be the best version of themselves. Right? How do you do that? And in practice, for me, it was a chance to drive them, to challenge them. Right? If they're, and this is where you have to know your teammates, because if it's late, we just had a back-to-back, and we had practice the next day, and you show up, and guys don't feel like going through the motions, don't feel like practicing. It's important to know each and every one of them individually, personally. Because then you know what nerve to touch. Some guys, it's like, okay, come on, let's, we can do this. That'll get them going. Other guys, no. You gotta figure out what button to push. Powell is always Spain. If I tell them how they lost in a gold medal to us and how they're gonna lose again, how I'm gonna beat your ass in practice just like I beat you in a gold medal game, he'd hate that. He'd hate that. But that's what practice was. You have to drive them. You absolutely have to. And if practice is more intense and harder than a Game 7 will be, then Game 7 will be easy. If it's not, then that's when teams start folding and capitulating.